This is Dr. Supriya Sokule from DRK College of Commerce, Kolhapur. Since from many days we are discussing about the Unit 3rd and later on we have reached up to the topic 4. Unit 4 is about types of different audits, and as we have seen in the last few lectures about the audit of company, audit of banks, audit of hotels, and now today we are going to discuss audit of hospitals. As we know that hospitals are not profit making organization. Those are non-profit organizations. Those are providing medical and health services. So there is a need that due care must be given by the auditor while auditing the statements and books of accounts of the hospitals. So today's our emphasis will be on discussion of the how care is to be taken regarding the accounts of the hospitals, maintenance of the records, and the auditor's responsibility regarding the audit of hospitals. Being non-profit organizations, hospitals prepare receipt and payment account, income and expenditure account, and balance sheet. Now let us discuss the different items that fall under the income and expenditure in the hospitals. So here are some of the items of income. The hospitals may earn profit through room rent, medical care, dentistry charges, delivery room charges, anesthesia charges, laboratory charges, grants for operating needs of hospital, grants for fixed assets, donations, miscellaneous income, interest on investments, fees from nursing training schools, bed charges, operating room charges, x-ray charges, pharmacy charges, physiotherapy charges. So these are some of the different items through which or sources of income of the hospitals. We know that hospital provide healthcare facilities, so their main source of income will be through the healthcare facilities. Now let us understand and know about expenses and payment. Electricity and water charges, pharmacy charges, salary and wages, pharmacy expenses, building repair, maintenance, laundry charges, rent for nursing hostel, accommodation in case of rented premises, telephone expenses, laboratory expenses, surgery expenses, operation tools and equipment expenses, and depreciation. These are some of the expenditure or payment items. The hospital has to pay much more on cleanliness and surgical equipment and its depreciation, and these are some of the major items of the expenditure. Now let us discuss about preliminary audit of the hospital. The auditor should obtain a list of books, documents, register, and other records as maintained by the hospitals. Auditor should examine the audit report of last year and should note down qualifications if any. He should also examine the system of receiving grants and donations, whether received through check or otherwise. So auditor's first duty is that before starting or while starting the audit, he should see and obtain the list of the books, documents, registers, and other records. He should also examine audit report, also note down the qualifications if any mention, and also he should examine the system of receiving grants and donation. The auditor should examine the system of receiving grants and donation, whether received through check and otherwise. According to overall objectives of audit, he should examine the scope of responsibilities. He should note down the important clause of trust deed or charter which may affect the audit and accounts of hospitals. He should examine the minutes of meetings of board of directors, trustees, or the managing committee. He should note down the important decisions concerning the financial transactions relating to fixed asset, investment, and financial powers as required by him during his audit. So auditor has to look after for the minutes of the meeting. If board of directors have taken any decision regarding that, then important decisions must concerning the financial transaction relating to fixed asset, investment, and financial power should be collected by the auditor. He should examine the internal control system regarding purchase of fixed assets, medicines, stores, consumables, clothing and provisions. Auditor should examine the internal control system regarding purchase of fixed asset, medicine, store, consumables, clothing and provisions, because majority of the expenses are associated with the medicines, consumables, clothing and provision. He should examine the internal control system for recording purchases, issue and storage of all items and physical verification of them. He should obtain the rate structure for fees, medicine and other services, power to do concession or waiver of fees. There should be adequate system for charges and waiver. He should calculate and examine the input-output ratio. So now we'll see regarding audit of expenses of hospital. Vouching of expenses in hospitals is almost the same as in other organizations. We know what is meant by vouching. Vouching means where we verify the vouchers or documentary evidences. However, the following points need to be considered by an auditor. These are: an auditor should adopt the usual way to vouch purchases and other expenses of the hospitals. Clear distinction should be made between capital and revenue expenses. Salary of staff should be vouched according to the general auditing principle. So these were the things which needs to be considered by the auditor while vouching the expenses. He should adopt the usual way to vouch purchases, like we have seen how purchases are going to be vouched, how vouchers or documents are going to be verified, which points are need to be considered. There should be classification in capital and revenue expenditure, etc. Now let us discuss about audit of assets and liabilities of the hospitals. The auditor should consider the following points and carefully examine the assets and liabilities of the hospitals. Title documents, other records relating to land and building should be carefully examined by auditor. The auditor must see regarding ownership documents and other records relating to land and building. Resolution of trustees and managing committee should be verified for sale and purchases of fixed assets. Depreciation should be charged on the basis of the policies of the managing committee. Liability should be verified in the usual manner. An auditor should physically verify the investments like shares, debentures, bonds, security certificates. He should also verify them with the investment register. Stock and stores of medicines, clothing, consumables should be physically verified at the end of the year. Now let us see some of the important points or highlights of audit of income of hospital. An auditor should consider the following points and carefully examine the income or receipts of the hospital. We have seen in the earlier slide regarding types or the sources of income. An auditor should check the bill book, bill register and copy of the bills. It should be verified that bills are prepared properly according to visit charges of doctors, medicine, stay charges, room rent, etc. Bills should be verified with the fees, charges and structure. Concession and waiver on account of fees and other charges should be verified. Bill should be verified with cash receipt book, counterfoil of receipts and cash book. Verification of arrears of bills should be done. Unrecoverable arrears should be written off with the approval and consent of proper authority. So while verification process, unrecoverable arrears are properly written off with the approval and consent of the proper authority or not, that is to be seen by the auditor. Rental income should be properly verified. He should properly vouch property register, arrear of rent, advance rent and provisions for the same. Interest and dividend income should be verified with investment register. cash book, share warrants, etc. Documents and correspondence relating to donations and grants should be verified. The list of donors, grant sanction letter should be obtained to verify the same. Unutilized grants should be verified at the end of the year. In case of non-fulfillment of conditions, grant will be taken back by the authority. Distinction between revenue and capital donation should be checked and verified. In case of donation is for some specific purpose, the auditor should assure that the money is used for the same purpose only. So these were the things. The auditor need to pay more attention on the expenses and income items while audit of the hospitals. If there are any queries or a matter of discussion, you can put message on our WhatsApp group. Stay connected. Thank you very much for attending the lecture.